topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Now here's your host, Emotional Wisdom Training Specialist Nicole Fortin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Language of Healing. Another great episode for you today as we move and journey through the language of healing, journey through the cycles of life, the seasons, and all of the myriad experiences that happen through life. We're constantly changing and moving through. And we have a very special guest with us today who is the host of Emotional Wisdom Training Podcast, founder of Emotional Wisdom Training Institute, one of my cherished mentors and friends. And so let's welcome Kate Michaels. Are you here with us? Can we hear you? Can you hear me? Are you muted? All right. Well, we'll give her a second there. So I wanted to talk today about spin cycles, and so we're all familiar with spin cycles. You know, those the here we go again, the spinning in feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. A spin cycle really is something that is created when we experience an event, an incident, or an accident. And we have Kate back in audio. Is she here with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. So, I just thought it was important for a good time of year to talk about these spin cycles. And I know that we're going through changes and cycling through every day, every moment. But, as we are doing a seasonal transition here, coming into the spring, and the winds of change kind of come in, now. And I'm reminded of spin cycles and, how the tornado analogy, that we can get really swept away and carried away. And we're talking about what anchors us and what can stop us from spinning, and the value of that grounding and reality check. And, I'm so happy to have you with us today, because you've been a real mentor to me, or you've really taught me so much awareness around recognizing my own spin cycles that bring up feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. And so, you are the creator, the designer, and I thought maybe you could share some of that insight. And you and I just had a conversation on your podcast around change and how to stay focused through change. So, Kate, what is a spin cycle to you?
It's interesting because when I first started using the term spin cycle, not a lot of people used it. And the only reason I used it is because my clients used to tell me on a regular basis, I'm spinning. I can't believe how much I'm spinning. I just find myself spinning over and over and over again. And so the whole concept of a spin cycle is this, where we go around and around and around about something. And we just kind of get stuck in that spin cycle, right? And I thought of it in a way like with a wash machine, right? Wash machines have their spin cycles, and we actually spin at a certain to get the water to wring the clothes. We spin to get the dirt out. Right? There's all of these reasons that we spin in the spin cycle in a wash machine. And I think emotionally, we're doing the same thing. We're spinning to wring things out, to find the spots and to like soak them
Mhm.
in a way. It's like that has really got my attention, and that's going to be there for a long time if I don't take care of it. Right. So
Right.
there's that whole spinning thing.
Yeah, you had this in your book. Actually, there's this part where you talk about, yeah, like the analogy of the washing cycle, the spin cycle, and the spot treating makes a difference. So spotting spin cycles right away makes a true difference in responding more wisely versus reacting emotionally. I just love that idea that, yeah, when we have a stain in our laundry, we notice that. That's like, oh, I better take care of that. So
And if we
recognizing
do
spin
take care of it
cycles.
right away, we usually can eliminate that spot. But if we
Right.
don't take care of it right away, like if we get a spot on our shirt and we just kind of ignore it, resist it, it goes into the laundry basket. And then when we wash it, we don't treat it again. We don't do anything about it. That spot will get into the shirt and stay in the shirt for a long, long time. Right?
Yeah.
When we could have easily taken care of it by having awareness with acceptance versus awareness with resistance. Oh darn, I got a stain on my shirt. That's resistance. Awareness with acceptance is, oh, I have a spot on my shirt, so I'm going to treat it with cold water right now. When it goes into the wash machine, I'm going to put some laundry soap on it. I'm going to spin it a little while longer, and I'm going to take care of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And our
Yeah,
emotions are wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah, right. So when this is the value of really being able to recognize when we are spinning, because it's there to actually serve us, support us in some way by cleaning, right? It's like the clean cycle. But there's also the draining of it. You have to let it go, right? So, I mean, there's all sorts of good analogies for letting go, right? And not taking things personally. So like letting that water flow out and then the rinse and repeat. Or do we
the
just
rinse
like
and the
spin
repeat, right?
yeah, which is a process that we use with emotional wisdom training to stop the spin cycles when we with the repeat and complete, right? That
Right.
process. Yeah. So what are some ways like that we can recognize these spin cycles? Because I think of, okay, that's the time when you're staying up late at night, you're obsessively thinking or you're spinning with thoughts. Like that's an easy way to notice it, because you're not sleeping. That's what comes to mind. But what are some
Yeah,
ways
that
that
is one of the things people do notice it when they're not sleeping, right? They're laying
yeah.
in bed and they're spinning. They're thinking of a situation and they're playing it over and over and over in their head. They're rehearsing the conversation over and over and over again. That's a real common spin cycle, is rehearsing the conversation that you already had or that you're gonna have, right? It's like people go, oh, they think this is what the person said now, and now I know what the person's going to say, and then I'm going to say this, and then they're going to say that, and then I'm going to say this, and then they're going to say that. That's a real common spin cycle. And do we really know what the other person is going to say?
Well, no. I mean, we're just going back based off of our past experience to insert
Right.
what the future might be. Yeah.
Based on our beliefs, based on our stories, based on our evidence that we've collected, based on our stories, we decide what they're going to say. And we are spinning because we've already done this before, probably in numerous relationships over and over and over again with other people. And that's one of the things that we do with a spin cycle, is we actually repeat something that we've done over and over and over again. And we've gotten the same results every single time. Our subconscious ego goes, well, I already know how to handle this, so I'm going to handle this the same way I've handled this in the past. And that's one of the reasons we spin as well. Is like, well, I know how to handle this. And so I'm going to handle this the same way I have in the past, instead of having a bigger picture, looking at what exists today, what's here, what's now, what's real, what's true, what's present. That's one of the ways out of a spin cycle, is to do a reality check. So you're laying in bed, you're rehearsing the conversation over and over again with the person, and you pause and you go, okay, so it's 2:00 in the morning. That's doing a reality check. What time is it here and now? It's 2:00 in the morning. Am I going to have this conversation with the person now?
No.
Most likely not. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
This could make quite a conflict if I call them at 2:00 in the morning. So when will I talk to this person? And that, again, that's doing a reality check, right? That's figuring out what it is that you want. When will I talk to this person? And what do I really want to talk to this person about? What do I really want to say to them? What really matters to me? Not what am I believing? What am I feeling? What am I thinking from my past? But today, based on where I am today and based on what I want from them tomorrow, what do I really want to say? What really makes the difference? And this is part of one of our trainings, is assertiveness training, which is getting really clear on the information that will make the difference. And a lot of times we're spinning because we're not focusing on the information that will make the difference. We're focusing on a past story that got our attention, not based on the information that matters and makes the difference for here and now and tomorrow.
Right. And so this is where the training can really come into play. So it's like we're exercising or building our muscles of the stop and the pause and the observing of it, because we're doing this multiple times a day. So even if you mess up once, you always have another opportunity. Like it will show up again. And how much fun is it to really use a spin cycle to gather more information, to actually see it as an opportunity? Like, oh, maybe there's, because we do that to get more information, right? We revisit it. I mean, like you say, and teach, it's, what are we gathering the evidence for? So spin cycles can either be like limiting us or motivating us. And what are we gathering the evidence that supports? Are we supporting our motivating belief or that limiting belief? And this is interesting. So I'll just share with you, Kate, because for the language of healing, so we are, I recognize that part of the language of healing is working with the cycles that we go through. And so every year we are shifting cycles. Every season is a new cycle. And so on the language of healing, we want to, bring some fun into what we're going through here and now. So like the grounding and reality check and what we're moving into. So this next month, we're really focusing on that grounding and reality, because as we transition into a new season, there is an opportunity to stop and to pause and recenter, reground, refocus on our intention, right? Because that will keep us in line as we move forward. When our attention goes off of our intention, we can stop and check, is it supporting my intention? And so the spins, so we're, grounding and centering so we can clean up the spin cycles and gather the evidence that like really supports us moving forward. And through that, we have to look at what a spin cycle is and what comes up in a spin cycle. And we are often introduced, or we hear from our guards and our gatekeepers, and we can explore the imagery of that, tornado. And you have the analogy of the Wizard of Oz and the tornado that comes through, and Dorothy is swept up and taken, flashed all of her life in this spin. We also we see the guards, the gatekeepers, the wizard, the man behind the curtain. And I just love playing with that imagery, because it does make it more digestible, more approachable when we can have fun with it. So that is the direction that the language of healing is going. So over this next month, we're going to be working a bit deeper with these aspects. And so because it is an opportunity to gather, it's like spring cleaning, you get to revisit everything, you get to sweep it up, you get to clean out the space, create space for the new. So yeah.
Well, one of the things
Yeah.
we are doing as our unconscious is storing all of the information from the time we're conceived in our mother's womb. Everything is being stored like a video, like a movie in our head, in our mind. And you keep talking about stop, rewind, and that we do have the ability to do that. That's part of the whole, that's what the spin cycle is for, right? To stop, pause, rewind, look at it and go, okay, so what am I doing this for? Am I doing this to support me? Am I doing this to limit me? Am I doing this to motivate me? Am I doing this to protect me? Right? Because we do not want to ignore the information that the spin cycles are bringing us. Then we'll just move into resistance. We want to acknowledge the information that the spin cycles are bringing us, because they're actually recognizing we're about to enter into a program we've played a number of times before. And so with that information, we can actually go, okay, so we're about to do something we've done a number of times before. If we do it the same way we've done it in the past, we'll get the same results. So if we want to get different results, we've got to do it differently. So what results do we want? So what are we going to do different? And how are we going to do it differently? And next thing you know, we're doing things differently and we're getting different results and we're gathering more positive beliefs and we're sharing this with other people and they're going, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I'm watching your life and you're just doing so many things that you've always talked about that you've wanted to do. And now you're doing them and you're following through with them and you're being successful, and right, people are watching and they're seeing you do the stop, pause, rewind, and then fast forward. And that's one of the things we talk about with the spin cycles, is actually creating a shortcut so that we don't have to go the long way around and do the whole entire spin cycle to actually get to the information that really will make the difference.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So when we are creating these shortcuts, we really need to be recognizing and being aware of what is coming up, working with that, because it's there to be utilized. It is resourceful. And then the shortcut, I like how you said, if you are up late at night, it's like, well, am I going to talk to this person now? No. Right. Yeah, but it's interesting that time, like at night, where it's really a cleansing time. Like there are the spin cycles happening at that time, through the spin cycle between our rational thinking and our emotional, bodies, I guess. And we see with the spin cycles that it is this conflict with the unconscious and conscious, right? And the conscious, how you say that they all have a voice and they all think that they're right. And like you said, the unconscious is developed from the time we are conceived in our mother's womb. So it holds like all of this information that we're trying to, I don't know if sift through, but it's like, which pieces do we want to be in that file, like closely accessible, if that makes sense. Yeah, maybe you could share a little bit about like the conscious, subconscious, unconscious. I know that's a big topic, but how do they relate to these spin cycles that we have? Maybe some thoughts on that. Have we lost Kate? Is she here? Okay, we'll just give it a second there. Yeah. So what next? So we've talked about the spin cycle, recognizing that they are happening. It's just a natural, normal process. They're not good or bad. They can be limiting or motivating to us. I like that analogy of the spot, like being on the wash cycle, right? Where if you have a stain on your shirt, you treat the spot and you don't ignore that. Kay Michaels is back.
So the stain on your shirt is your conscious being. That's the physical realm, right?
Okay, good.
That is our physical being. That's our environment, right? Our subconscious ego is the resistance or the acceptance of the stain on our shirt. It's like, oh, I blew it. I got a stain on my shirt. Now my shirt is ruined, right? That's the subconscious ego. Or, oh, I got a stain on my shirt. I need to spot treat it so that I can take care of this so that this shirt is not ruined. And those are the limiting. You can hear the limit.
Mm-hmm. You hear the limiting beliefs and the motivating beliefs with that. I've got Kate. She did say that she had quite a snowstorm, lots of snow. Sometimes she lives out on some nice land. Maybe there's a little connection there. Just holler when you're back with us, Kate, and jump on in.
So now so the unconscious, as we were talking about, is the camera that's storing all the information from the time we're conceived in our mother's womb until now. That is our movie that we're playing out. And the reason that the unconscious stores all of that information is so that we recognize the limitless resourcefulness and ability we have to do all kinds of things. Right? Our unconscious is limitless in its ability to do things because we have seen so much and gathered so much. And we know how much we've missed. Our unconscious knows how much information we've missed. And that's one of the reasons we do the spin, right? Is we go back, go, you missed this. Oh, we missed this. We missed this. Each time we're trying to pick up pieces that we might have missed.
Right. Yeah, so that's good. It's a healthy thing to revisit that, right? So that's kind of like the rewind, is it, in a sense? Yeah, by visiting the unconscious, we can see more information, and if we revisit it with the awareness that, hey, I'm looking at it from this outside third person wise guru stance, really being open to accessing that, we can pick up so much more, because there's so much more going on than we really realize at any given time. And yeah, so just noticing that we do have these different aspects to us, right? That we can step back and see more, use it to our advantage. And with emotional wisdom training, I mean, this we have, it's designed to ask you questions, to open up the, be curious around the connection between the body, the conscious body, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious heart. And we get through that, we access it through questions and unraveling a little bit more about the story that is going on. And this is how we can transform what limits us into what motivates us. Because whether we're talking about the spin cycles or the guards, the gatekeepers, the wizard, the man behind the curtain, it's all there to support us. They are it's like the sentinel, right? Like the guards, they are there to serve and protect us. They have a purpose, and it's just about being open to and curious to gathering the information that that shows you what.
Right. The guards have come about because we have had so many events and incidents and accidents with other people. And so we basically know what we're going to do when they're going to do what they do. We know what programs we're going to run when they run the programs that they run. And the guards are showing.
Oh, a little connection blip there. Okay, just holler back in when you're with us. Yes, and now, sorry, now there's all the thoughts here. Yeah, so we're just recognizing the guards are showing up and the gatekeepers are showing up to show us where they are, where they're positioned, where they are supporting us, protecting us, new perspectives. And so I think we've got Kate back in. You can just holler when you are there. I know the connection is can be a little spotty. Yeah, and perfect example for, when how spin cycles can happen, like, oh, it's frustrating with technology. I notice, myself sometimes getting frustrated with that if something's not working. But really, it's just such a minor thing that really doesn't matter so much, right? When we can use that, just as fun, playful.
Well, then on
more
the other hand,
accepting
if we want to take
position.
into consideration what we took into consideration for the last thing, we can look at the environment, we can look at the capabilities, we can recognize the changes that have occurred, and we make a more resourceful choices with the situation that exists right now, which might mean that you wrap up this call without all of the interruptions coming back and forth with me coming in and out because of the weather, right? We go, okay, things have changed. We kind of had this intention, but we want to focus on what really matters. And what really matters is that people get the information.
Yes. I love it. So true. Yes. So going back to the beginning, then this is how we stop a spin cycle as well, as or gather more information from a spin cycle as we go back to the beginning. What was our intention at the beginning? And the intention at the beginning of this conversation was to, shine some light on spin cycles and how when we're spinning is actually a great opportunity for us to gather more information. And so
Thank you for having me joining you, and you finished the call, and
yes,
make sure everybody gets the information that will make the difference for them.
sounds good. Thank you so much, Kate. Much love, and enjoy the rest
Thank
of your
you.
weekend. All those wonderful people in your life supporting you, rooting you on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good. So, we can just take a moment now. There's lots to consider. So let's just go into a bit of an exercise here, because one way to stop the spinning is to stop and pause and breathe and really open and allow ourselves to pick up the information, because it is a muscle, and the more we practice developing that muscle of awareness, of observation, the easier it does get, and the more natural it becomes in your everyday life. But these, when we talk about the emotions and the reactions and the triggers that pop up or express themselves as we move through life, they happen in such a quick split second. And so we're just working on giving it a bit more space, a bit more time in between the reaction to really respond. So wherever you are right now, listening in, thank you for joining in and tuning in every week, every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, on YouTube, The Language of Healing TV. And so we'll take a moment to just kind of center and ground ourselves, because we are moving. We do see We recognize that things are changing and are moving, and we're always in a place of transition and transformation, and we're evolving and expanding and growing. Nice deep breath in. So just, pausing for a moment, whatever is going on in your mind, whether you're thinking about all the things that you have to do, whether you're bored or feeling anxious, irritable, maybe a little irritable, or even worried, worried about things that are around you. But we're gonna take a look at your environment right now. So just tuning into your environment right here, right now. What is real and true? What is real and true? We're just going to gather some information. So what's real? I mean, what's real and true right now for me is I have my computer and my camera in front of me. I'm in my room, spare room here, and so there's the real and true walls, right? There's the real and true. I'm here speaking with you, and I'm sitting on this chair. I love this stool, actually. It comes from my grandmother's, and it's pretty and it's embroidered, and I just love sitting on it. You can't see it, but it's supporting me, and that's real and true. This chair is here. I'm sitting on it, feeling grounded. And so what's real and true for you? Just tuning in, just becoming present in the moment. Nice, easy, gentle breathing. You can gently close your eyes if it is safe to do so. And just take this moment to check in with your body. With your body, the conscious body. What does the conscious body feel? And just being open to that. What does the conscious body feel? Your conscious body. Your physical body. What feelings are coming up, popping up to mind about that? What do you notice about the way your physical, conscious body feels? Just taking note. It's just observing, gathering the information. I notice a little twinge in my back. I notice my head feels heavy. Notice my ankles. So even just now, tuning in, checking in with the physical body, and just paying attention to all of your body parts. Just say hello to every single part of your body, starting from the tips of your toes. Hello toes, the feet, the ankles, the calf, the knees, thighs, the hips. Hello, hips. Just like allowing yourself to sink and settle into your hips, the root foundation of your spine. Yeah, taking a nice deep breath in. Let that breath carry through your spine, spinal column, into the head, the gentle tuck of the chin, just allowing your spine to even grow and stretch more. A nice relaxed breath in your lungs. Your lungs and your shoulders relax, and your arms relax. Elbows, forearms, wrists, and hands. Flowing to your fingers, just relaxing, saying hello. Just being aware of the conscious body, relaxing the face. And just nice, easy breathing, relaxed. Because now we've said hello, we've paid attention, heard our physical body. We can now move our attention to our subconscious mind. What are the thoughts of the subconscious mind? So just notice how this is a little bit of a different space, a new layer, the subconscious mind. This is where our thoughts are. So noticing what you're thinking, and noticing how your thoughts and your subconscious mind affect your conscious body. Perhaps you're aware and you can recognize that if you have a thought about, thinking about something that you have in the future, oh, I got to get that done. Just noticing how maybe the body responds to that, gets tense and tightens up. So noticing the connection between your thoughts and your feelings. Okay. So yeah, what else do you notice about your subconscious mind? About the thoughts that are going on for you? Maybe what are some of the thoughts you've had showing up for you lately? Just noticing that there is the connection. They are still connected to that physical body. And going even deeper yet. So we've visited conscious body, subconscious mind. And now let's visit and pay attention to the unconscious heart. And so in your unconscious heart realm, what do you know? What do you know in your unconscious heart realm? So noticing that this too is a different space, slightly different energy here in the unconscious heart, connected to our beliefs. What do we know? What do we believe? Just notice even where that shows up in your physical body. Where is your unconscious heart realm? What does that feel like? So noticing the connection between the heart and the body realm. Notice how your beliefs weave through with your thoughts as well. Your feelings, thoughts, and beliefs are all part of you. They all have a voice. They are all sharing their story. They all want to be heard. They all have a language. They're all speaking to you. And the more we practice checking in and tuning in with these parts of us, well, the more in alignment we can be, the more expansive we can be, the more aware, alert, and the more responsive we are then to our emotions or the feelings, thoughts, and beliefs that show up along the way. We can be alert and use this to our advantage because we, just like the body, so we can see the body as our gut, our gut instincts. It's visceral. It grabs our attention, right? That gut instinct. And then we have and that's a brain, right? The gut is its own brain. It's like it has its own receptors. It's sensing and perceiving information. It's giving us information. There's a feedback happening there. So we're, just in this practice of checking in, you're acknowledging that this is valuable source of information for you. And then noticing also the heart. The heart has its own field and its own energy around it. There's the toroidal field, right? It's like the donut shape that is always spinning, and even I'm thinking of now we're talking about spin cycles and the word chakra when we're talking about Ayurveda or yogic principles, and they speak about the chakras in the body, and that means wheel. So the wheels, they're spinning, right? And it's like a clock that has its many moving parts, and it's constantly spinning, right, and working together. And sometimes we do get stuck in that spin cycle. And so this is just a fun exercise, a fun way to work with ourselves, so we can really train to become more responsive than versus reactive, because that really makes a difference for us, for our bodies, for the people around us, for our relationships, for our careers, for our family. So we're recognizing that we have that gut, that body, brain, we have the heart, brain connected to our beliefs and our desires, right? Follow your heart. So there's a message there for us, right? And then we also have the brain, our subconscious mind, our thoughts, and they're all driving and working hopefully in unison. They each believe that they're right? They all have the voice, they're all important. And the more we can train them and recognize that they can be in line, then we have an easier time to really know what we want, know how to ask for it. And it keeps us motivated to show up, keep our word, and as well as expressing a natural attitude of gratitude along the way. These are the 5 steps to miracles that Kate Michaels teaches and lives and shares with the world. And you can find out more about that on her through her work, through the Emotional Wisdom Training Institute.com. There's that website, emotionalwisdomtraininginstitute.com. You can also check out Kate Michaels has a book. We can get you the link for that as well, because it's a wonderful resource to read up on all the work that she's done and put together. And through the Emotional Wisdom Training Institute, there are courses and classes that you can learn all of these principles, practices, and processes that you can apply into your own life to really embody and live and practice responding more wisely to your emotions versus reacting emotionally. And spin cycles are a way that we can see or gather more information around what our feelings, thoughts, and beliefs are that are coming from or are based on our previous past experiences, the past events, incidents, and accidents that have happened in our lives. And through those events, incidents, accidents, we form and we create feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. And so you can see that they are, it's fluid, right? They feed each other, they work with each other. And, by shedding light on it, or by seeing more, we can actually start using them consciously. It's like using it to our, leveraging it, right? Because it's happening anyway. If this is a normal process that we are spinning, then maybe we spin a little bit less late at night. We get more restful sleeps when we can hear the spin, recognize it, work with it, talk with it. The quicker we might, have those more restful nights, more movement in our body, because when change is happening all of the time, right? We're cycling through the seasons and through phases in our lives. And what's important really in that is to know that you can choose more resourcefully, because we are all creative, perfect, wholesome, resourceful, doing the best that we can, given the information that we currently have. And we have the ability and capability to gather even more information when we open our eyes and are curious to it. And so the next time you recognize a spin cycle happening in your life, you can stop, pause, check in, and listen to yourself. Next week, we're going to be working more with the guards and the gatekeepers. And so these are the statements that show up, the I statements or the other people statements. And so we'll hear more from them because there's more to explore with that realm. So we can use these spin cycles to our benefit. Right. And just using that spring cleaning energy and the spring cleaning vibes to, do our laundry. Yeah, it's just funny how we have those expressions about having dirty laundry, right? And it's like having, things that you just kind of want hidden, right? So we're shining the light, and you can do it in a safe environment, right? It's, there are containers where it's safe to explore some of this stuff. So, and when your intention is to gain clarity for yourself and more clarity around what it is that you want, what you want while you're moving forward, then we can support you with the various principles, practices, and processes from emotional wisdom training, along with traditional Chinese medicine. This is very cyclical in nature as well. So we will tune in and keep that conversation going. Next week, you can join us on Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and YouTube and Facebook at Talk4TV, W4CY Radio. Links will be below. And I wish you a good weekend, and we'll see you next week there. Thanks for joining in. And thank you so much for Kate Michaels to have joined us and share more about her work and her miracles, and continuously promoting, evolving, and expansion for all of us to utilize and apply into our lives that would really make a difference. So look forward to more conversations to come. And for the listeners with us today, what will you take with you from this conversation that will support you for the rest of your life?
Wow, what a show today, and the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4CY Radio and Talk4TV. See you next week.